Recently picked up this used Charter Arms Undercover. This is from the 1960s, blued all steel frame. Not rated for plus P, so I'll need to use standard 38 special hollow points in it for my carry. I used to have for something very similar to this. This is very much more like a Model 36 from Smith & Wesson. I carried a Model 49 for a number of years. Very fine handgun for backup or off-duty carry. I've been practicing dry firing this. I will tell you that the purchase is going to be a little rough with a small grip. Not a big deal. It's designed to carry in your waistband or on your hip very discreetly. You can see I have very small hands and it's a little tight in there. The trigger is not as good as a Smith or a Colt. Surprise, this handgun is substantially less expensive. But it's certainly adequate. In single action, it's very light, no problem. It's difficult to stage the trigger. You know, when you have a Smith, there's a place right, see, I'm kind of doing it right there, where you can kind of hold it and readjust your aim and follow through. It's a little more challenging with this. It's not as clean as it is with a Smith. But then again, in a self-defense situation, you're not going to be staging that trigger anyway. So it's really not a huge deal at all. It's a very fine handgun. I realize Parkerized and Cerakote is all the rage nowadays for obvious reasons. For those that aren't aware, it makes the finish much more durable. That aside, I really like old blued revolvers. I think they're a very sexy looking, I guess is the best way to describe it. They've got a certain aesthetic appeal to them. This is a beautiful handgun. Like I said, it's from the 1960s, and you can see it's in very fine condition. Guns like this aren't typically range toys, so they don't get fired that often. They're not particularly pleasurable to shoot because they're so light and have that short barrel. So they don't get fired that often. This one is in excellent shape. Picked it up used from Bass Pro Shops. And a shout out to, what store did I get it from? You got me. In New Jersey. It was one of the stores in New Jersey, of all places. Okay, so again, like I said, it's a beautiful handgun. Fine handgun for the money, certainly for what I paid for it. With my veterans discount and my club points on Bass Pro card, got it out the door for $133. So it was quite a bargain. Couldn't pass it up. But like I said, these old handguns are beautiful. The aesthetic quality to them is something else. I have a number of more modern J frames. You can shoot plus Ps out of these. Obviously, this is a internal hammer model. They're I think one of the finest EDCs that you can carry. But like I said, these right here, let's see if I can open up that with one hand. There we go. There we go. So these, though, have a certain appeal to them, I guess, because of their being somewhat vintage. I think they're very beautiful firearms. Again, I think some of these companies that aren't your Smiths or your Rugers or your Colts get a bad name. I've got a modern Taurus revolver, a 357 model that I've never had any problems with. And I think these original Charter Arms are of excellent quality. Like, see, I'm not the same thing as a Colt Detective. But then again, you're not paying anything close to what a Colt Detective would cost. I have a very modern version of the Charter Arms revolvers. That's the Pathfinder in 22 Magnum. Again, fine pistol, never given me any kind of problems whatsoever. So I just wanted to show this off a little bit. If you keep your eye out there, you can pick these things up for a very decent price. All right, Bird Dog out.